Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to go ahead and start adding an angle condition into our boomerang motion. Now, it's always a good time to save, to make a copy of your scene if you need to. So you can go ahead and do so right now. What I'm going to do, after I've made a copy, I'm going to go ahead and minimize all of this so that I'm just looking at my boomerang right now. My towers, more specifically. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at my turret. We see that how we add an angle is this thing right here. Add to bullet a permanent force at this angle and this speed and make it permanent. Now the thing is, that works for our straight shooters. Basically they only go in one line. But our motion is going to be different, right? It's going to go in kind of a teardrop shape, maybe an oval. So how do we do that? Well, if we look at our boomerang motion, this move, does it kind of have a angle? It doesn't. It just has a X, Y position and speed. So how do we take into account angle in making our movement? Another problem is if we were to actually check this out, we should see 4 distinct stages. So let's wait for that to load. Boom, bum, bum. Boom, bum, bum. Boom, bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, so we kind of see 1, 2, 3. There isn't really a 4th stage. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're kind of missing, I guess, one of these stages. This is where it's moving away. This is when it moves that up. This is when it goes this way. And then, I guess it doesn't change enough. I wonder if I edit that right now. What if I make that 100? You know, just for testing purposes. You don't need to copy this. What if I do +5? And as always, when you're making games, it's okay to try things out. In fact, that's how you learn and get better. Now, I'm providing these tutorials to help you get an idea of what to do, what I would do. If I was brand new, if I had no idea. 1, 2, 3. Well, still not quite working. The way you want it to, at least. Alright. But let's go ahead and just consider a boomerang moving away from us, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically delete all of these things right here. So that's why I asked you to make a saved version of this. So if you haven't done yet, do so right now. Make a saved scene of this. Copy your scene. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And I'm just going to take into consideration if my firing stage is 0. I don't even care about this. Alright, I'm going to delete that as well. Alright, if my firing stage is 0, I want to take into consideration an angle somehow. How can I do that? Well, my X position can depend on the angle. Right? I'm going to add some consideration of an angle to my cannon. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this and this, and I'm going to try to look for something that deals with angles. And if I was to look into the documentation, complex logic, common features, concepts, I think it was this one. This is time delta right here. Coordinate system, top left is 0, 0, as we've seen. And in order to move or rotate objects, you will need to specify the desired angle in degrees. Alright, so we have right 0, down 90, left 180, up 270. Now you might be thinking this looks exactly like a unit circle or one of those circles, but the angles are flipped. Why is that? Well, if you remember also, gdevelop, the top left is 0, 0, and the y increases as we go down. So sine of 90 is 1, which is positive, which is down in comparison to my object. Alright, so it should be higher. So that's why, in my opinion, gdevelop made it this way. Alright, so let's try to take into account the angle. So I'm going to look in here. I'm going to see if there's something I can do with angle. It's probably all objects, probably angle. Oh, there's angle. And it's going to be the BoomerangTower angle. Alright, so I've gotten the BoomerangTower angle. Alright, and let's just go ahead and multiply it. You know, just to see what it does. So what do we think should happen? Well, the boomerang should fly out with an instant force of 100 forever, because the stage is always 0. I never change it. Let's go ahead and try that out. Okay, it's going that way, but it's not really, I guess you can kind of imagine it's going like that. Not quite what I want. I kind of want it to vary depending on where my tank is. Should put it here. So I'm not even sure if this, what I'm doing right now, will lead to the final boomerang tower. But you know, the only way you can grow as a game developer is by trying things out and learning. So that's strange. The tank's here, but they're going there. Maybe I don't just want to multiply it by the angle, because if I'm correct, this angle should be about 0 degrees. So maybe I should try something else. Well, why don't we take the sine or cosine? If we remember physics and math, the sine of an angle, if this is my angle and this is my, well, this is my line and this is my angle right here, the sine of the angle gives you the y. The cosine gives you the x when you multiply it by the hypotenuse. And what would be the hypotenuse for our boomerang tower? Well, wouldn't that be the firing range? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try out. I'm going to go ahead and get the firing range. Multiply it by the x. We're dealing with x right here, so that should be cosine of this angle. Oh, my computer froze. But by multiplying it by the cosine, multiplying the cosine of the angle by the hypotenuse, which is the firing range, that should give us the x offset. And I'm going to go ahead and add it to the x position. So this is a good time to note that, yes, game developing requires you to know math. Alright, so if you want to be a game developer, you know, gotta try for those math classes, calculus, all of that stuff. Now I'm gonna go ahead and copy this, and I could copy the plus also. And instead of doing the cosine, I'm going to go ahead and do the sine. Okay. And if you look in here, you'll be able to find the sine as well. If you go to mathematical tools, you can see cosine and sine. Oh, and they have modulo. LERP, linear interpolation. Okay. Well, okay. So we click OK, and let's try it out. Ooh. Okay, so it's stopping at the max range of my firing range. Oh, a little bit more, but within reason. What if I put it up here? So it should aim toward my tank now. Will aim toward my tank. Will the boomerangs fire to my tank? Okay, not bad, within reason. Now as you can see, it's a little time consuming. Clicking and dragging, stopping. Oh, what happened there? But, you know, stopping it and clicking and dragging and all of that. In the next video, it's going to be a short one. I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to make this a draggable object. Alright. And we really need to fix this angle thing. In the video afterwards, I'll show you how to do some debugging with text objects. See you then.